We do begin this hour with the desperate search for crews for survivors from that deadly flooding that swept through central Texas this past weekend. Officials say the flooding has killed more than 90 people. That includes at least 27 campers and counselors from the Christian girls camp, Camp Mystic, which sits along the Guadalupe River. About 40 people are still unaccounted for right now. And Texas Governor Greg Abbott said over the weekend, crews have rescued at least 850 people. And Florida is now saying it is sending its own teams to help out with those rescue efforts. We're also hearing from two brothers who survived the flooding at a different camp in Hunt, Texas.
We jumped up to another bed, like a top bunk, and like our bed starting tipping over, and like we got to the top really quick, and then we like this, and then like one of the walls like fall down.
And CBS News reporter Nydia Cavazos is in Kerrville. That's about 65 miles northwest of San Antonio. Nydia, very good to see you. At this point, there are still 10 girls and one counselor missing from Camp Mystic. What do search efforts look like for them, as well as the others that are still unaccounted for right now?
At this moment, the search and rescue efforts are still underway across Kerr County and the surrounding counties, and this involves close to 19 state and local agencies that are on the ground. That involves agents, it involves volunteers. They're searching bodies of waters like the stream behind me. It involves volunteers on land, the use of helicopters, drones, and all of this is an effort to find these missing girls that were part of the Christian camp and whose cabins were washed away with the rain and the unexpected and unprecedented storms here across the state of Texas. Now, what we're also seeing is that volunteers and some of these agencies are also having some troubles with the search that is underway because of, the weather was one of the factors. It hadn't stopped raining up until today, and so this eases things up for the searchers and the rescuers who are here on the ground at this moment.
Yeah, I was going to ask you a little bit more about that, Nydia. Of course, the threat from storms not over yet. As you mentioned, weather still a major concern. Can you talk to us about some of the weather conditions and other factors residents and crews are facing right now? What are they up against as they try to make their way to save more people?
Well, we heard from local officials earlier this morning, and they described some of those challenges. And first of all, we're talking about a stretch of land that is close to 100 kilometers. And so this is where you have volunteers and multiple agencies involved in the rescue efforts. And this stretches across different counties. And so there is a need for collaboration amongst the counties, amongst the state leaders here, and who are also working with their federal partners. Now, this is what we have on one hand, but on the other hand, now they're also asking for volunteers for help, but they're asking for this to be streamlined with the Salvation Army to take care of these, of the shift of the coordination, because what they've also been running into is that many people have come out here to try and help, but in some instances, they've also gotten in the way of some of these operations that are ongoing. And so officials have highlighted that in the case that it continues to rain, which there is some rain in the forecast, they don't necessarily want to devote these resources to now having to rescue the volunteers who were trying to help out initially.
Yeah, very tough dynamic to thread there. Nydia, thank you very much for your reporting. We appreciate it.